Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs have landed a commitment from one of the best running back prospects in the country. And I'm talking about four-star Ousmane Kromah out of Lee County, Georgia. He's an in-state running back with plenty of size, 6'1", 6'2", around 220 pounds. One of the best prospects, not only in Georgia, but across the South. He is a chain-moving running back with plenty of size and pretty good speed for his size too. But this has been a big-time prospect for a while now. Throughout his recruitment, I thought Auburn and Florida State were probably the two teams to beat. I was told in early August that Auburn kind of cooled down on Kromah, a big kind of physical playmaking running back, which surprised me. If Georgia offers a kid, Auburn should have offered him a while ago. And if they haven't offered him a while ago, Auburn should be offering every kid that Georgia does 5 minutes after that. So there's no reason why this kid is good enough to play at Georgia, but he's not good enough to play at Auburn. Auburn dropped the ball here because this is a South Georgia kid who's been running wild throughout his high school career. As a junior, he rushed for just under 1,800 yards, 20 touchdowns. He's also versatile. He caught 31 passes for 522 yards and 9 more touchdowns. He's a really good athlete. That's what stands out to me when I turn on the tape. I mean, this kid will jump over you. He'll run through you. He's got a spin move. He's got a stiff arm. This is a kid who's only going to get better, but the natural tools are there. Dean Legge went to go watch him play in person when they took on Warner Robins. He said after the fact that he was one of the best players on the field. There's no doubt about it. He's physically gifted. And at that time, I thought Georgia was running third, probably. We were there really to see Isaiah Gibson playing at Warner Robins, but I said, take an eye at the running back. You know, he's on Georgia's radar. It seemed like his relationship with Georgia kind of evolved. I guess it started a while ago in February when Georgia offered Josh Crawford, but it didn't seem like Georgia was towards the top of his list until kind of recently over the last several weeks. But I was told Auburn cooled on him, which is ridiculous because that's just bad coaching on Auburn's part. If this kid wanted to jump on board and they said no thanks, that's crazy. Florida State is a dumpster fire right now. Trash program, trash team. Call it like I see it. It's a downward spiral, Florida State. Actually, it couldn't get much worse. They're losers right now. Florida State, the program, they're a bunch of losers. And that's not me being mean. That's just realistic. That's where they are now. And Kromah had to make a decision and said, hey, I have an opportunity to play for the in-state Georgia Bulldogs. Sign me up. Right? Now, the knock on him, or the knock that some people have on him, is that he's not a burner, right? But he's plenty fast for his size, and he does bring a level of elusiveness and a shifty style of play. The kid can run, and again, he can break tackles. If you turn on the film, he's spinning out of tackles and defenders. He's slipping through defenders. He's a slippery back for a guy who's got a lot of muscle on a 220 frame. I mean, he can slip and slide through defenders. Or else, he could also take them by the face mask and just shove them into the ground. But, he's got a stiff arm. He's got a spin move. He can put his foot in the ground and get up the field, and he's catching the ball. So he is a versatile weapon who can help out in a lot of different ways. He's also a promising pass protector. He doesn't mind being gritty, taking on a blitzing linebacker to help protect his quarterback. So the physical gifts are there. He's a natural runner. He's got good vision. This is a kid, I believe he's from Africa just by looking at the name. I don't know his backstory, but everything I've heard about this young man is that he is determined. He's focused. He's driven. He's a hardworking kid, good head on his shoulders. And when those types of families move to the States, they know what they're doing, right? And they've got a vision. They've got a plan for success. And this kid is one that just puts his head down and grinds. He plays for a really tough South Georgia program, one of the best programs across the state and across the country. And he works hard, and I think that he really fits the type of culture that Georgia has in Athens right now. So he's one of the best running back prospects in the country. Again, he's the number 5 running back prospect in the entire 2025 class, number 112 overall. So this is a really, really good player and a guy that I can see having a big impact at the next level. Now, Trevor Etienne can come back. I don't know how many guys they're going to be, missing from next year's team. He's currently on the roster. Rod Robinson has the ability to return. Nate Frazier is obviously just a freshman. I think Cass Jones might be out of eligibility. I've got to check on that, but I'm not, saying that the guys who signed in this current 25 class are going to be playing very early. You know, as we've seen, Nate Frazier looks like a possible superstar, but he's got to get it all together. And I don't know if it's a practice issue or a playbook issue. I don't know why he hasn't seen the field a little more. I think mostly it's because Trevor Etienne is back, and that's the type of guy that they need. And that's why Nate Frazier played a ton against Clemson, because Trevor Etienne wasn't there. But we've seen freshmen make an impact running the ball at Georgia before, but there's going to be so many guys ahead of him on the depth chart. But there's no doubt about it, when his time comes, this is a guy who can keep the chains moving. He can break tackles. He can push through defenders. He falls forward, but he can also make guys miss in the open field. He runs with balance. Again, it's tough to completely wrap him up and get him to the ground, especially by one defender. And if he's in the open field, again, 6'1", 220 with a little wiggle, it's tough for any linebacker or defensive back in high school football to bring this guy down. Again, he runs like a deer, and he's a good athlete. He really is. I mean, he's trying to do stuff that other running backs wouldn't even attempt, right? I mean, he's got no problem attempting to jump over someone. Or again, there's a lot of different ways where he's trying to get a few extra yards. And he's tough. He's physical. Again, he's not a burner. He's not a track star, but I do believe he does play multiple sports. I'd have to check on that, but he's a guy who can find holes up the middle. And as we've seen, right, it takes a kind of a bigger physical back to find 2 or 3 yards when there's nothing there, right? You can be the best running back out there, but if there's no room to run, there's no room to run. But Kromah is a guy who can, run behind his pads and pick up some tough yards, right? 4th and 1, 3rd and 2, you can still hand him off the ball, and he goes forward, right? This is a tough back to corral and tackle behind the line of scrimmage. He's just that good. So he is a big-time prospect, a big-time player, and a guy that Georgia really had to work for his commitment, because, again, Georgia was always in the mix, but I was never told this spring or this summer even that Georgia was past Auburn or past Florida State. Those were the two teams that always stood out to me, and I'm thinking, hey, this is a really good running back from South Georgia. Georgia needs another running back in this class to go with Bo Walker. What's going on here? Where is the interest, and why is it not there? It seems like a really, really good fit for both parties, and now Georgia has one of the top running back prospects in the country on the commit list. I think this gives Georgia 22 in the 25 class. They're loading up and loading up with a lot of in-state players for sure. So both of the running backs they have in this 25 class are in-state running backs. Before I continue, collegebronze.com. That's where you can get this bad boy. It's the #1 Georgia Bulldog statue on the market today, and you can get yours using promo code DAWGPOST. Make sure you can see it. I'll back him up a little bit. In the description below in this video, promo code DAWGPOST, DAWGPOST. That's where you can get, this is the only place you can get a discount on this good-looking bad boy right here. So between Kromah and Bo Walker, 2 backs who are physically gifted, over 200 pounds, guys who can run. If you want to put Kromah in the elite category, I would understand that, because, he's a top 5 running back in the country. So I think it's okay to put that label on someone. And he's productive. Again, he's been running wild for Lee County for several years now. He's a running back that came on everyone's radar as a freshman, started earning some little offers here and there. He can help you in the return game, kickoff, punt return. There's just a lot to like about his game, and he's one of the bigger prospects to come through Lee County that I've seen in some time, especially at the running back spot. And you can't teach size. He's got all muscle on him, but he does have enough speed to get the job done. And he can take off for a big game when he gets through the line of scrimmage, right? But he's not a guy who's going to leave many in the dust. But again, he could take off for 50 yards at the collegiate level. I really believe that. He just might have to break a couple tackles to get there. But again, he's catching a lot of passes. So far this year, he's rushed for 635 yards, 7 touchdowns, averaging 8 yards a carry. He's also caught 17 passes so far this year for another 271 and 2 more touchdowns. So you just got to get this guy the ball. And when he's got the ball, good things happen. He's a really, he's an impressive playmaker. There's no doubt about that. A tough runner, and a guy that Georgia fans, I think, should be excited about. So again, a tough tackle-breaking running back with some versatility. That's what Georgia's getting in this kid. And a really good athlete. Again, when you turn on the film, like, he's making some big-time runs, and he knows what he's doing, and he's got the vision. but the athleticism is easy to see, if I can get my words out correctly. But you can read all about him over on Dawg Post. You can read the story that I've got up. But a big-time commitment today, 4-star running back Ousmane Kromah out of Lee County, committing to Georgia today over Auburn and Florida State. Hope you learned something. Really, really big commitment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over on the website.